Hello everyone, I'm Đức Trung with VTV International. This is the English Bulletin, VTV News, coming to you live from Hanoi. First, let's get you up to date with the headlines for this hour. Ho Chi Minh City witnesses a fourfold increase in FDI during the first 5 months of 2014. Vietnam to participate in the UN peacekeeping mission in South Sudan starting from June. And later, a musical project embraces national sovereignty, featuring 1,000 people singing the national anthem. On to the first update of the hour. The National Assembly discusses the amended law on bankruptcy on Monday morning. Over the past years, some enterprises have faced certain obstacles while attempting to file for bankruptcy in accordance with legislative procedures due to limitations of the current law on bankruptcy. The amended law is expected to solve this issue.
National Assembly deputies have raised different concerns during the ongoing discussions on amended law on bankruptcy. Focuses are on the current limitations of the laws, such as strict conditions for unprofitable enterprises and corporations looking to leave the market. Some National Assembly deputies suggested that detailed criteria should be added to the law to differentiate between enterprises with outstanding bad debts and those facing bankruptcy.
The amended law should state clearly how long an enterprise can stay insolvent before it files for bankruptcy. To allow bankruptcy means more orders in the economy. I think a cooperative or an enterprise can file for bankruptcy if they are insolvent for 6 months. If enterprises or cooperatives cannot pay their debts, then it should be resolved by bankruptcy law procedures. This case should be resolved by being treated like other cases regarding civil law.
Some National Assembly deputies disagree with the proposal to withdraw the district court's jurisdictions over bankruptcy cases and allow only provincial courts jurisdiction. This proposal causes problems for small-sized enterprises as they are often registered at the district level, and filing for bankruptcy with provincial court seems to be an inefficient procedure.
Level of jurisdiction should be ruled in accordance with scale of businesses to provide effectiveness.
Other amended laws on enterprises and social insurances were also discussed by the National Assembly deputies. A general proposal on national laws and ordinances for 2015 will be discussed by the National Assembly.
Foreign direct investment, or FDI, into Ho Chi Minh City during the first 5 months of this year increased fourfold compared to the same period last year, reaching $724 million in value. With high-tech projects worth billions of dollars waiting to be licensed, the city is once again proven to be a stable business environment for investors.
According to Ho Chi Minh City's leaders, the main driving force behind the increase in FDI projects is the stability of the macroeconomy. In addition, shorter licensing procedures, improved infrastructure, and efficient business-government agency dialogues also contributed to a better and more open business environment of Ho Chi Minh City.
Recent instabilities of several incidents had negative impacts on both foreign and domestic investors. So in the coming time, we are discussing measures like improving administrative procedures to attract more investments in industrial zones, export processing zones, high-tech zones. We propose that there should be more preferences for those manufacturing complexes.
Along with the growth of FDI projects and capital, the city growth rate in the first 5 months has also been maintained, with estimated revenues from retail and services reaching over $121.5 billion, up by 12% compared to the same period last year. The city export turnover during this period was nearly $11.7 billion, accounting for 20% of the country's total export turnover. This made a great contribution to the city's revenues. The reason for the increase in the city's budget is because the production was maintained and has continued growing. Newly licensed businesses rose by 1% in quantity and 50% in terms of capital. Also, business closures declined by 3% and the macroeconomy has been stabilized. Investments into Ho Chi Minh City are forecasted to keep rising in the near future, especially from South Korea and Japan. The city will give priority to high-tech, eco-friendly, and high-added value businesses, which match Vietnam's goal of restructuring the economy and making the best of global trade agreements to be signed, including the much-delayed TPP.
The Vietnam National Petroleum Group, or Petrolimex, recently unveiled its business plan at the company's annual shareholder meeting, targeting a pre-tax profit of 2 trillion Vietnamese dong, or roughly $94,000 for 2014, down 1% over last year. The company is forecasting that fierce competition will drive prices of petroleum products down as demand for petroleum products in Vietnam softens in 2014. In addition, petroleum import-export activities are expected to be tighter, giving rise to a reduction in overall output, the spokesperson said. Petrolimex Director Chen Văn Thịnh said the company is committed to growth by the exploitation of oil assets in both the domestic and international markets. This year, Petrolimex expected to sell 9.2 million cubic meters of petroleum in such markets as Vietnam, Laos, and Singapore, with an estimated aggregate revenue reaching 200,000 billion Vietnamese dong. Over the past 10 years, more than 300 overseas Vietnamese professionals and academics have returned to Vietnam every year, while the remittance has increased by up to 15% per year. Those are some of the highlighted results of the Politburo's Resolution Number 36 implementation. How has the resolution positively affected the overseas Vietnamese community? The following report brings you a closer look.
Over the past few years, amendments in housing law concerning overseas Vietnamese house ownerships are said to be one of the successful examples of the implementation of the Resolution 36. Recently, the National Assembly has discussed the draft housing law amendments which extend the range of overseas house buyers as well as their condition to buy a house. Having lived in Austria in more than 20 years, Son returned to Hanoi in 2011. But he had to register the house ownership under other person's name, as he is not eligible for buying in Vietnam according to the current housing law. Son is very excited to know that new property ownership laws are under discussion.
I
feel very excited about the information. I think that it will have a great impact on overseas Vietnamese community. They are likely to return to Vietnam to buy houses or even do business in the real estate sector.
Regarding the business sector, thanks to more open policies and investment law, over the past few years, many investors can easily get the information and have the favorable condition to do business in Vietnam. Canada Home Decor is seen as one of the typical firms in applying high technology in textile sector. Being established in 2011 and 100% of overseas Vietnamese owned, the company has created employment for hundreds of people working in its 85 agents nationwide. According to the firm's director, who is also an overseas Vietnamese in Canada, Vietnam's policies have created good conditions to attract overseas Vietnamese investors.
Since Resolution Number 36 on overseas Vietnamese affairs was passed, remittances sent to Vietnam in the form of direct investment have reached more than $27 billion. That is evidence showing the attractiveness of Vietnam's business environment to overseas Vietnamese. Although there are some limits in our policies, but we can see a lot of opportunities.
After 10 years of implementing Resolution 36, many policies such as visa exemptions, citizenship, investment promotion, or house ownership rights have been appreciated by Vietnamese living abroad. In addition, many special events for the overseas Vietnamese, such as Homeland Spring and Overseas Vietnamese and Homeland Seas and Islands, are now annually held. According to Vietnamese expatriates, the party and state's policies and activities have encouraged greater interest in their homeland as well as in the place where they are living.
Over the past 10 years, I think we have established a stable and developed Vietnamese community in Czech Republic. To gain this achievement, we have conducted 4 groups of measures, including providing favorable policies to the overseas Vietnamese there, diversifying the content and methods of our activities, utilizing the resources as Vietnamese are recognized as the 14th minority groups in the Czech Republic, and training the leaders of the Vietnamese groups in Czech Republic.
Over $11 billion was remitted to Vietnam last year, making it one of the world's top 10 remittance receiving countries. Currently, there are 3,600 overseas Vietnamese firms doing business in Vietnam, with investment of $8.6 billion. Over the past 10 years, overseas Vietnamese have also proactively participated in the country's activities. More recently, overseas Vietnamese have also contributed their ideas to the amendments to the 1992 Constitution.
There should be clearer policies on overseas Vietnamese affairs. I think the potential and the resources of the overseas Vietnamese are huge. A person can do various things.
We see overseas Vietnamese as an integral part of the country. We should also regard their resources as the resources of the people living in the country. By doing so, we can evaluate the real potential of the overseas Vietnamese.
However, experts have said that although some policies on overseas Vietnamese affairs are right, their implementation has not really proved particularly effective. Some authorities have proved unable to appreciate the benefits overseas Vietnamese could bring to the country, and administrative issues have acted as a barrier to their increased engagement. These shortcomings have now been gradually corrected via every government's policies on overseas Vietnamese. According to the reports, after 10 years of implementation, the resolution number 36 on the overseas Vietnamese affairs has gained a lot of success, although there are still some limits. But overall, it is said to have met the overseas Vietnamese demand of returning to Vietnam and contributing to the development of the country.
Moving on now to other news. Starting from June this year, Vietnam will send out 2 officials to participate in the United Nations peacekeeping mission in South Sudan. The move was announced by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Phạm Bình Minh while meeting with Amira Haq, United Nations Under-Secretary General for the Department of Field Support. The minister also informed Haq that Vietnam is currently working on building legal documents on participating more in the UN peacekeeping missions. Vietnam's Peacekeeping Center was launched on May 27th, marking Vietnam's participation in the UN peacekeeping mission. Meanwhile, Amira Haq said he highly valued Vietnam's contribution in global issues, including keeping peace, safety, cooperation, and development. The International Telecommunication Union, or ITU's Regional Radio Communications Seminar 2014 for Asia Region Countries, or RRS 14 Asia, opened in Hanoi this morning. Now, the seminar will deal with the use of the radio frequency spectrum and the satellite orbits, and in particular with the application of the provisions of the ITU radio regulations. Related forums will also discuss utilizing radio communication in national defense and a number of other fields. The event is held in collaboration with the Ministry of Information and Communications of Vietnam and the Asia-Pacific Telecommunity. Activities will last until May the 30th. In the latter half of our bulletin, a musical project embraces national sovereignty featuring 1,000 people singing the national anthem. And later, a festival was held last weekend to celebrate Lanko Bay's recently found fame. That's coming up next on VTV News. After a short break, stay tuned.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News live from Hanoi. Vietnamese students in New South Wales, Australia organized a demonstration on Sunday against China's illegal deployment of an oil rig in the East Sea. The following report takes a close look.
Sydney Town Hall is a popular meeting place in downtown Sydney. Today it is colored red by hundreds of Vietnamese students in New South Wales. They come here to support Vietnam. An estimated 300 students studying in New South Wales gather at demonstration against China. Some students from the Central Queensland University, Sydney campus, travel nearly 1,000 kilometers to be present at the event.
I am proud to be a Vietnamese and I want to express my patriotic energy and enthusiasm.
We love peace and the Chinese people, but we are determined to oppose China's violations of our sovereignty and territory. We call on the international friends to understand our student parade, which is for peace and justice.
Standing side by side, the demonstrators made a red wall along York Street. Waving the Vietnamese flag, they chanted against the Chinese actions. They shouted for justice. And they shouted for international support and unity. Their voice was heard by the families and international friends. German student Alex Staff decided to join the parade because it was completely against China's illegal action after reading the news.
I think what they're doing is just like they think they're so strong and they can come just in like smaller countries and do what they want, and that's not okay.
Like Alex, Colin Johnston came here to show his support for Vietnamese friends.
You know, full of energy and support each other for what they think is right, then absolutely they can win.
The red flags, shirts, slogans, chants of the parade captured the attention of passers-by. Raymond Horsey, an Australian photographer, stayed for a while to take photos.
I was not totally aware of what was going on in Vietnam now, and I would be happy to support any action to bring it to the attention of the United Nations.
After the event, the Vietnamese students in New South Wales sent a joint statement to the Chinese Consulate General in Sydney to demand China's immediate and unconditional withdrawal of the Hai Yang Shio 981 and its vessels out of Vietnam's exclusive economic zone and continental shelf.
These days, songs and artworks on the theme of Vietnam's seas and islands have been embraced by Vietnamese people in and outside the country. But there is one song that is more appealing and convincing to any Vietnamese person. It is the national anthem. Under this theme, a special music video featuring 1,000 people was officially launched in Hanoi on Monday.
After about 2 weeks from idea to final products, the music video of the national anthem is published in Hanoi today, and the number of participants have expanded from the initial 200 to 1,000. And one special thing is that everyone in this music video wearing the same T-shirt in red and yellow, the Vietnamese flag.
The music video of matching song, the national anthem of Vietnam, was made public at a ceremony in Hanoi. At the event, singer Minh Quân, Ngọc Anh, and journalist Ngô Bá Lục, who started the idea for this musical project, shared all the advantages and hardships in making this MV, as it features more than 1,000 people from all walks of life.
Myself and everyone on my team feel so proud and happy to receive all the support and care from our family, friends, and colleagues. I feel that I'm doing the right thing, and it's a great driving force for all of my team.
The music video was recorded at both ends of the country, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Minh Quân studio in Hanoi had opened for a week to welcome artists from the north. Meanwhile, singer Ngọc Anh traveled to Ho Chi Minh City to gather artists in the south. Together with the participation of a number of public figures, this MV also features wide shots of hundreds of people wearing the same t-shirts of Vietnamese flag, as well as rare footage in beautiful landscapes across Vietnam.
While I'm in Ho Chi Minh City, the biggest difficulty is the short amount of time. We started the filming and recording works right after my arrival. There were 30 artists who show up, and all of them are very devoted.
This is the first time a music video on Vietnamese national anthem featuring 1,000 people was made. With the new arrangement of the song, local people have showed the love for their country and the determination to protect it. Hoài Lương, Vietnam Television.
Moving on now to other news, a festival themed celebrating Lăng Ko's recently found fame was held last weekend in Thừa Thiên Huế Province, Phú Lộc District. The following report gives us a close look at this tourism hotspot. Let's take a look.
The festival staged a range of sporting activities and arts performances at Lăng Ko Resort. Considered one of the Vietnam's best bays, Lăng Ko has long been a tourist hub. We're thrilled to join this festival. We've been preparing carefully. It makes us very proud to contribute to the development of Lăng Ko Bay. The festival has attracted over 60,000 tourists. After 5 years of being recognized as one of the world's most beautiful bays, tourism revenue here has risen 25 to 30%, attracting some 600,000 visitors each year. Authorities in the area hope such festival would tap into the economic potential of the region, as well as build a brand name for Lăng Ko Bay tourism. We are setting a future agenda for the region to develop construction in Lăng Ko, invest in infrastructure, and provide more entertainment and leisure centers for tourists. Located between Huế and Da Nang cities, Lăng Ko Bay possesses the potential to attract many more tourists. The province of Thừa Thiên Huế intends to develop Lăng Ko into an international standard seaside resort by 2020.
Up next, let's take a quick look at a few online articles about Vietnam.
Our first news of the day comes from the Malay Mail Online. The Newswire reports that the United States recently confirmed duties on imports of stainless steel pressure pipe from Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam after finding the products had been sold at unfairly low prices. The pipe is used in pharmaceutical lines, petrochemical lines, brewery process and transport lines, and general food processor lines. Imports from the three countries totaled $39.1 million in 2013. The U.S. International Trade Commission is due to make its final decision on whether the imports harmed local industry on July 6th. LuiCheNews.vn reports that customs officials in the northern city of Haiphong on Saturday seized more than 1 ton of ivory concealed in a 40-foot container smuggled into Vietnam. The customs declaration for the container claimed it held 15 tons of cacao. Local customs officials found that the hull of elephant tusk, each of which was cut into many pieces and hidden in cacao bags. The shipment was smuggled into Vietnam from Hong Kong by sea before being exported to China, they said. According to Vietnamnet, Bridge Jenny Nguyen, winner of the Vietnam Supermodel 2012 Style Prize, is representing Vietnam in the Miss Asia Pacific World 2014 pageant taking place in Seoul, South Korea from May 18th to the 31st. Miss Asia Pacific World 2014 is drawing the participation of representatives from 25 countries around the globe, including United States, Canada, Australia, France, India, Poland, Myanmar, and the host South Korea. During the event, contestants are taking part in different rounds of competition, including photo shoots, talent shows, golf playing, swimsuit and traditional customs of the host country, and communication with South Korean fans.
Vietnam has more than 160,000 new cancer cases and 82,000 people die of the disease every year, while the cost of cancer treatment increases year by year. This figure was revealed by Dr. Phạm Xuân Dũng, Deputy Director of the Ho Chi Minh City Oncology Hospital, at a seminar on cancer held in Ho Chi Minh City. Of the 116,000 new patients, nearly 5,500 are in Ho Chi Minh City, adding that the number of cancer patients at his hospital increases by 10% per year. Every year, the hospital gives treatment to 13,000 new cancer cases, including those transferred from other localities. The United Arab Emirates, or UAE-based Nakheel Group, plans to resume work on Ha Long Star project next month. Đầu Tư newspaper or investment newspaper quoted a source from the Provincial People's Committee. The 125 hectares urban and tourism center project is in the northern border province of Quảng Ninh with a capital of $550 million. Will include a 5-star hotel, a luxury hotel, villas, apartments, and a trading center. The project got off the ground in 2007, but was delayed due to the investors' financial difficulties.
And that's also the last piece of news we have for you in this hour. Before saying goodbye, let's take a quick look at today's weather forecast. The weather forecast has also closed out VTV News for this hour. Simply visit our website at vtv4.vn to re-watch any of our programs online. Thank you very much for being here with us, and goodbye for now from Hanoi.